Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So we're back with another Bass Gang May the Bass Be With You Volume 5 cover, review, and analysis. This one's going to be Hallelujah, which is a very famous song covered by a ton of different artists. Um, this one I think was Peter's arrangement, which we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm not going to lie about something real quick. I'm going to say this. I don't really like this song. There's a couple of reasons for it. One, I think, is that it's been really overplayed for content across the board. It gets used a lot in background songs and as audio and TikToks and IGs and stuff like that. The other thing is, and this dates me, I cannot hear this song without thinking about the movie Watchmen. If you know, you know. Don't Google it unless you already know. Uh, let's just say that this song was playing during a particular scene in the movie that is very unsuitable for children. I mean, the whole movie's unsuitable for children. But when I was in my God, when did Watchmen release? I think it was in my late teens, early 20s when that movie came out. And yeah, it's burned into my brain as a not quite a core memory, but a memory that you wish you just never really remembered. Not that it was a bad scene, it wasn't. The whole movie was kind of awesome actually, but like I now forever tie that song to that scene. And so yeah. But I know like ASM artists will hum it a lot if they have a humming trigger in their ASMR and stuff like that. So I wanted to get that out of the way up front because I just want you guys to know that I'm not the biggest fan of this song. And I know in the past, when I've not been fans of the song, that it has really colored my perception of the songs themselves. But I want to let you know that I have a bias against this song up front so that you understand kind of where I'm coming from. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome in. Hopefully, that whole thing didn't push you away. But for those of you that are veterans of the channel, welcome back. It's good to see you. For those that are new, my name is Works. I've been doing these videos off and on for basically around 4 years now, a little over 4 years. It's just we started out as a palate cleanser to all my gaming content, and a really fun community has developed around these videos. I'd wager about half my subscribers are basically because of these videos that I do, if not more than half. But you guys have been really supportive of everything that I do on this little journey that I've been taking. I know a lot of you only watch me for these videos, and that's awesome. And some of you have, even will support like the other gaming content videos, even though you guys don't really play games. I know the audience for these videos skews a little bit brighter. Apologies for the flashbang. I have no control over this. I'll put a warning before the video goes on. But if you've never watched one of my videos, the way that I do these is I will go through and I will watch the entire video nonstop, no pausing. You just get my face here reacting to what you're doing. This microphone won't even be near my face, so you won't even hear me talk if I do say anything, or it'll be very faint if I do. And then I'll go back through after giving some initial thoughts and do a second listen through on the things that I think are cool, interesting, or that I have questions about. So that's how I structure these videos. So let's get into this one. This is the Bass Gang's Hallelujah from May the Bass Be With You, Volume 5.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Maybe I've been here before. I know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on a marble arch. Love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, and all I ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. It's not a cry you can hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
All right. Uh, Interesting take, honestly. Most of the covers that I've seen of this song are either pure acoustic or just pure voice. They're like accompanied by like an acoustic guitar, or it's just the person singing the song. So for the bass gang to turn this into what felt like an old 80s rock band power ballad, I think is a very interesting creative choice on how to put a new spin on the song. I've not heard any covers of this song, and obviously I'm not going way out of my way to find them all the time, but I've not heard any covers of this song. I'm out of water. Sorry. Not found any of the covers of this song that are putting it in that direction. So I find that very, very interesting. Some very, very interesting little moments that we'll discuss here. But on the whole, I think this was just a really, really solid outing. Lots of really cool harmonic things that are going on here. With, the fact that a bass singer twist on it, which is actually something that I kind of haven't thought about. Maybe I've missed some of it over time, but I've not seen as many bass covers of this song as I thought that I would, particularly because the chorus with the hallelujahs really fit into what a bass singer could do, and they could do some really cool and fun and interesting things with it. So the fact that I haven't seen stuff like that is kind of interesting. But like I said, I don't go out of my way to find covers of this song. So overall, I think this is really good. I think this is about as good as a song like this that I'm not the biggest fan of can, I think, kind of be. So really kind of looking forward to getting into kind of talking about why this was way better than I thought it was going to be, and why I took a song that I'm not the biggest fan of and made it and put a fun twist on it for me. I think this is an excellent, really cool cover that I think was doing some really fun and interesting things. So shout outs to Peter for his arrangement on this, and we'll talk about the things that I really enjoy about it. So if you're here for just the video, that's the end of you. If you want to talk about the reaction side of things, let's dive into it. I actually really like this opening shot with the rippling water. I don't know if this was like a glass bowl that they shot it through, or if this is just really clever editing on the back end, but I really like this shot at the start. Obviously, the flashbang I'm not the biggest fan of, but whatever. It is what it is. Considering the origins of the song, uh, the garb and the vibe and stuff like that that they've been going for the entire time really fit. But I like this opening shot with the ripples. I like that a lot. Very standard, almost like choir organ opening, where you get everyone in harmony and then you get like one or two voices that will drop a note there at the end. You hear this in church songs a ton, um, but other music as well takes advantage of it. So I really like that he kind of, again, knowing the origins of the song, plays into it a little bit before we start adding in and kind of pays homage to some of the original versions that are out there before we start getting into the versions that we have here. Also, Peter, I like you a lot, dude. You're one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube, honestly. Like, I still watch some of your old analysis videos from years ago at this point. This shot does you no favors. I'm sorry, buddy. I know you're the shortest member of the group, but this shot does you no favors. By the way, I say that as I think I'm shorter than Peter. I think he's like 5'9". It just happens to be that the rest of the group is like 6'1" plus, and Tommy's like 6'4", 6'5". I'm only 5'6". I got no room to fucking talk, but here we are.
There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you?
So very standard opening, just drop down into like the low baritone, high bass range because it's where these guys are the most comfortable. I've heard versions that start much higher, but a lot of the times this song starts, at least when men are singing it, it starts in a baritone range. So again, paying homage to some of the original renditions. I like that we're getting the guitar in the background. Again, these guys don't have always said they want to do more than just pure a cappella. So we're getting that obviously with all three of these songs that we've listened to so far. And I know Sound of Silence has been released as I record this. I'll be covering that and recording that and getting that out for next week by the time you guys are seeing this, or later in the week by the time you guys are seeing this. So don't worry. Um, but I like that we have that guitar just playing a very standard doom 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 type melody that just climbs up a little step on every note and just repeats that over and over and over again. And
It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
so I love that, and Peter does this a lot in some of his past arrangements that I've seen from him for the bass gang. Is he gives everyone early in the song an opportunity to show off their individual voice, and you get to see, and I talk about this all the time, how these guys are just vastly different sounding. The one thing I'm going to point out here is I really love the way that Bobby goes from breathy, and then when he hits this yeah at the end, it comes through much more connected, much more power. Like, listen to this. It's breathy, 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 power. Like that. Also, I heard these high notes, and if I didn't see Marwin on screen matching them, I would have thought it was Tommy. So shout out to Marwin. We know he's got range. He's obviously still very young, has a lot of chance to develop his voice, but his vocal range already is insane. So give the little shout outs for these high notes. They're very, very nice. And this is where I start to see a lot of the things that like make this interesting to me.
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you.
So now we're getting these background vocal harmonies to support the guitar that's going on. Obviously, we have, excuse me, what appears to be Marwin on the very high end of things. Bobby sounds like it might be on the bass, and Tommy's supporting with these a lot of doom 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 type rhythms in the kind of the middle space as Peter takes the lead line here.
On the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied
I love the Marwin line, da 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 da, something like that.
you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne.
God, what Marwin's doing, da 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 da, that high in his range. I don't know how hard that was for him, but that feels like it would be hard.
She cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And here we get our transition to adding the drums in, and this is where it gets like true to me, true more power ballady sounding. Again, which I think is a unique take on it because a lot of the other covers, and the most famous one probably by Bob Dylan, I don't think incorporates a ton, if any, drums in it. It's all just guitar and Bob Dylan's voice. So I love that we get that, and they're good heavy sounding kit too, which is nice. And what I love is we're getting no snare drum early on. It's just hi-hat work with a kick drum on 1 and 3. So really, really nice. I love Tommy right there at the end, that hallelujah. Really nice way to transition in.
Baby, I've been here before. I know this room. I've walked this floor.
Now we're getting 3-part harmonies with Tommy on the lead line, but Bobby and Peter supporting underneath in lower registers. And Marwin being the bass line.
I've seen your flag on a marble arch. Love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
That sounds like Peter going above Tommy in that line, getting way up there, and then Bobby hits this bass note here at the very end of this, right as I paused it. So we'll go back 5 seconds so you get a chance to hear that.
It's a broken hallelujah.
Oh, like that, very connected. I mean, that sounds like chest note, maybe chest fry, but that's good work there. And here we got all like there's a lot of parts going on in the background. So obviously these guys are doing, they're double tracking each other and stuff like that on the parts themselves. Shout outs to Ed Boyer who did the mixing for this, for making it work. I mean, he's been labeled the greatest mixer in the world, regardless of the fact that Bass Gang is working with him along with Jeff and Voice Play, like my favorite groups. He's a connecting thread between all of them, and it makes sense. But obviously we're getting still some deep bass lines, but visually on the camera, we're seeing a lot of the middle parts being covered by all of these guys. And like these, I mean, there's probably 8 parts going on here in the harmonies. So if not more.
Maybe there's a God above.
This section really threw me off guard because I don't know if it's Intentional dissonance, intentional swapping from major to minor, because I think this song for the most part, is in a major key. Because generally speaking, uh, choral music and music that has its origins in choral, which this song does, tend to be in major key because there's a feeling of angelic and etherealness to it that is like really associated a lot with Christian music. So when they hit these minor keys, which are associated with dissonance, darkness, and like building uncertainty, it's always like a little bit of a like whoa moment for me. And this ultimately I think leads into a key change. I'm not 100% sure. I've never like I'm not the most like note inclined person. I'm very rhythm minded when it comes to music. But like this really threw me off, and like it's adding a little bit of tension here that you don't get in any other cover, which really doesn't change the key almost ever.
And all I ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. It's not.
And then they just go right back in it. It lasted like what, maybe 4 bars, but it was just enough that it feels both out of place but also makes perfect sense as a transition. And I think maybe that was part of the intention, is it's meant to be like, hey, we're going to switch this up just enough to catch your ears and catch your attention. And then, like I said, it feels almost like there's purposeful dissonance put in by Peter that really adds a layer of like whoa to this song. Like it catches your attention, like I said, and it obviously worked on me. Like my head tilted like a golden retriever hearing the sound for the first time. So just wanted to shout it out. I don't know exactly obviously I don't know his mindset while he's doing it. I'm not in his head, but like there's a few ways that it could definitely have been like, hey, this is something that is cool to do.
Cry you can hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
The harsh vocals, we built up to them for sure. I love that Marwan, he's clearly been working on them because he used them a lot in Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and we get to see them here again, but in a way that really makes sense as we are like in the climax of the song basically at this point. And the idea is to put as much emotion into it as possible. And harsh vocals, when you're putting a lot of emotion into something, you get really into something, you do kind of scream a little at times with it, right? You're accomplishing a goal, or you get into like this really good flow state, or you get really passionate, really like not energetic in this way because it's not necessarily over energized. He's not like Energizer Bunny zoomies, but he's obviously like the passion and stuff like that is flowing through him at this point. And he shows that on screen. And with these harsh vocals that come through, like it really just kind of adds and like vocally puts that checkbox or that pin into the fact that this is a highly emotional moment of the song.
It's a broken hallelujah.
I hear that note, Bobby. Shout it out. I like the little switch up on the harmony. We don't get the same notes. That hallelujah here on this one. Listen, not to this one, but the one after it. Not this one. This one. They all drop just a little bit. Instead of hallelujah, they hallelujah. Like they do that or something along those lines. Again, makes it so that it feels less repetitive and boring in a way, even though this section is not boring at all because there's crazy drum fills going on in the background. Obviously, our music instruments are at their peak. These guys are at the peak of the song. We're starting to hit our wind down point now on this, but like just a little thing to kind of make the chorus feel less repetitive, I think is always a good thing. Which seems a little anti what choruses are supposed to be. Like choruses are generally speaking the most singable, repeatable parts of the song. But for a group like this that is trying to show off a creative flair on top of, just the sheer talent level that they bring, doing stuff like this, I think is perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. I like what they did there. I just can't really explain why I like it. Like I'm struggling for the words for it. And then of course we get our transition into what we expect to be, this meaty, bassy type situation, and we kind of get that. So we get somebody down there. I think it's Bobby, but we also get like this crazy. I mean, it sounds like 8 to 10 part harmonies, which is just insane. Like it's so hard to make that sound good. So shout outs to the guys for hitting the notes, and I'm sure Ed probably put a little mixing in there to make it sound really, really good. So like just impressive stuff. So yeah, let me get off the flashbang white here. There we go. So overall, like I said, really, really cool, really fun video. Quite enjoyed that for what it was. Like I said, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the song originally, these guys did something I thought that was like just kind of neat with it, kind of cool with it, and go from there. As you can see, Sound of Silence is right above my head. I will be covering that, but given the time that I'm recording this, it'll probably have to be done on another day. This video I think is going to release either Sunday or Monday. I haven't decided yet as I record it. And then the Sound of Silence will probably come out later next week. Couple of little housekeeping notes as we end here. It is my birthday month. My birthday's at the end of June. I'm going to be doing something on my birthday or the weekend after, because I know my family's going to want to do something on the day of. So the weekend after, I'll probably be trying to do something. So keep an eye out on the YouTube posts and things like that. And I've talked about wanting to do ASMR. I have an update on that coming in the next 10 days or so. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in hearing that side of things. It won't impact this channel, but I'm going to post it here because basically I'm going to create a second channel, and I'll let you guys know when that channel's officially live. So little housekeeping notes. Thank you for bearing with me for those. Like, share, subscribe. As always, the more times that I say it, unfortunately, the more times that people will subscribe. So I need to start saying this like every other, like probably once at the beginning, once in the middle, and once at the end. Honestly, I know it's going to suck. It's going to be annoying. I'm already annoyed by the idea of it, but unfortunately it's what you have to do in order to get people to subscribe, because the more you say it, the more likely they are to subscribe to the video, to the channel and stuff like that. So until the next video, hope you all stay safe. Hope you enjoy yourself. You're having fun. You keep on listening to great music. We'll see you next time.